This is the Boxing Talk and Old Time Boxing Show on UStream, presented by GAR1680. Here is your host, Paco Rivera.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Boxing Talk and Old Time Boxing Show on UStream. This show is brought to you by GAR1680. The phone lines will be open during the show, so call in anytime to offer your comments or opinions. The number is 605-215-1680. Open scoring in boxing. In some venues in countries outside the United States, you may see what is referred to in boxing as open scoring. It was seen most recently, however, here in the U.S. in the Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. versus Marco Antonio Rubio fight in Texas. An official was seen during the broadcast after the 4th and 8th rounds going into the corners and showing the trainers the judges' official scorecards. In other countries, scores are not only revealed to the trainers but also to the general public. Sometimes it is announced over the venue's PA system, a public address system, after each round, meaning that everyone can know the official score so far during a bout. Open scoring is endorsed by the WBC and used in many countries for their title fights, but it is not generally approved by the Association of Boxing Commissions and is not commonly seen in the United States. But Chavez versus Rubio did feature open scoring. The scores were not announced to the audience. WBC supervisor Alberto Leon stated that the Texas Commission approved the WBC's request to use open scoring on a limited basis, only for the benefit of the corners. This entire idea about open scoring apparently has its fan support and opponents. Internet boxing forums are filled to the brim with fans arguing for or against it. And when you look at the comments, both sides seem to have a very good argument as to whether we should have open scoring or get rid of it. I personally am against it. Hate it. The way I see it, telling me the judges' official scorecards after each round is like telling me the end of a movie that I just started watching or the end of a book I just began reading. All the suspense of what will happen in the end, something that gives boxing its appeal as a sport, is basically gone. Think about it. If after the 7th or 8th round, one fighter has won almost every round, then you already know who will win if there isn't a knockout. And there isn't going to be a knockout because the fighter that is well ahead on the cards can just dance around the ring for several more rounds and bore the hell out of everyone watching to simply collect the win. Then again, that might not always be the case. It is very possible that Chavez knew he was well ahead on the cards after the 8th round, and he did not let up. He continued bulling forward and maintained the same relentless pace the rest of the way. In a fight in 2008, a fighter from Nigeria named Samuel Peter quit on his stool after the 8th round. He was fighting Vitali Klitschko, who had returned to the ring after a 4-year layoff. Peter had quit on his stool moments after learning from scorecards shown during an open scoring event that he had lost 7 of the 8 rounds. Game over, he concluded. No need to continue this match. I think open scoring is horrible. Horrible.
This is the Boxing Talk Show on GAR1680.
Phone lines are open. Call with your comment or opinion. The number is 605-215-1680. You can also find us on our Facebook site, Golden Age Radio 1680. Just follow the link from our homepage, gar1680.webs.com. We are also on Twitter, and you can follow us there at GAR1680, or you can share your thoughts on the chat panel right here on this UStream site. The Epix movie site, EPIX, an internet site much like Netflix, will be streaming heavyweight title bouts 3 Saturdays in a row beginning this Saturday. As far as I know, there will be no television networks covering any of these fights in the United States. This Saturday, the 18th, Vitali Klitschko will defend his WBC title against Dereck Chisora. The following week, 7 days later, Alexander Povitkin faces Marco Huck, the current cruiserweight champ. And on March 3rd, 14 days after this Saturday, Vladimir Klitschko fights Jean-Marc Mormec, who is a former cruiserweight champ. All 3 fights will be streamed live on epixhd.com. That's epixhd.com. epixhd.com offers a 14-day free trial. There is no need to pay anything up front, and they don't ask for a credit card. To sign up, you just have to make up a username and password and give them your email address. That's it. Since your free trial is for 14 days, you should be able to get all 3 fights for free. After that, you can cancel your subscription if you're not interested in the Epix service, but they will be banking on your liking their site so much that you will want to pay to watch full-length streamed movies and other events, but that's up to you. If you go to epixhd.com site now, on the main page, you can scroll down and see a promo for the Vitali Klitschko versus Dereck Chisora fight. There's a countdown clock. There's a countdown clock right below the promo that at this moment shows 3 days, 4 hours, 21 minutes, 14 seconds, 13, 12, 11. The event taking place in Germany will begin on Saturday at 4:30 p.m. That's Eastern Time.
3 great nights, 3 heavyweight title fights, only on Epix. Now one of the most dominant heavyweights of all time, the formidable, devastating power puncher and 3-time champion Dr. Iron Fist Vitali Klitschko seeks to defend his heavyweight crown against the young and restless British brawler, top 10 contender Dereck Chisora. Fresh off his controversial loss to #1 ranked challenger Robert Helenius, Chisora is pumped and primed to take down the reigning king and leave no doubt who'll stand victorious in his first shot at the title. But not if the doctor puts the KO in Klitschko. The first of 3 great nights of heavyweight title fights on Epix begins. For the heavyweight championship, Vitali Klitschko versus Dereck Chisora. The showdown in Munich. Live Saturday, February 18th at 4:30 p.m. on Epix and epixhd.com with a 12 a.m. replay on Epix.
To be honest, the fight that I find much more interesting this Saturday is Tavoris Cloud versus Gabriel Campillo. That will be seen on Showtime, and since the event takes place several hours after the Klitschko fight, it will be possible to see that one also, which is actually an undercard of the main event on Showtime, Nobuhiro Ishida versus Paul Williams. Believe it or not, that's the main event, not the Tavoris Cloud versus Gabriel Campillo, which I think should be. American heavyweight contenders Chris Arreola and Eric Molina will also face each other in another of the undercards on that Showtime event. Well, I apparently got my wish. The fight I've been saying needs to happen has been signed. The rematch, Lamont Peterson versus Amir Khan, is scheduled to happen on May 19th in Las Vegas. Hopefully, it should put rest to all the drama associated with the Peterson-Khan soap opera of the past few months. One of my favorite fighters, Saul Canelo Alvarez will also be fighting. I spoke about Canelo during a previous show. I happen to think he is ready for a big fight against possibly Miguel Cotto, James Kirkland, Erislandy Lara, or possibly even Floyd Mayweather. Instead, he will be fighting Sugar Shane Mosley on May 5th on the undercard of the Mayweather-Cotto fight. Shane Mosley, who will be trying to turn back the hands of time. Of the 6 fights Mosley had in the past 5 years, Mosley has 2 wins, 3 losses, and a draw. 6 fights since November of 2007. With those kinds of stats, it's usually a sign to hang up the gloves. Canelo Alvarez fought 4 times in 2011 against some very tough opponents. He fought 5 times in 2010 and 7 times in 2009. He's undefeated, and I really think he's going to stay that way for a while, especially after May 5th. Regarding ESPN2's main event this past Friday between Demetrius Andrade and Angel Hernandez, I think everything I would say about that fight I already said during this show last week before the fight happened several days later.
This is the Boxing Talk and Old Time Boxing Show on UStream, presented by GAR1680.
This Friday, ESPN Friday Night Fights will once again feature a replacement. The lightweight IBF eliminator bout between John Molina and Marvin Quintero has been called off. Instead, they will have a 10-round junior welterweight bout. Mike Dallas versus Miguel Gonzalez. Mike Dallas lost his previous 2 fights in 2011. Gonzalez has won 14 straight, but mostly against fighters with double-digit losses on their records. Saturday can't come soon enough, I guess, for a little better quality of boxing.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio on 1680 AM in Concord, North Carolina. Please visit us on the web at gar1680.webs.com.
For those of you that would like to stick around and continue chatting about boxing with each other here on the UStream chat panel, there will be some great old-time boxing events that will be streamed here for you. For your viewing pleasure, we will have Carmen Basilio versus Sugar Ray Robinson 1 in 1957. That will be followed by Joe Louis versus Billy Conn from the year 1941. And then Carmen Basilio versus Sugar Ray Robinson 2, which occurred in 1958. Billy Conn turned pro in 1934 at age 17. He got off to a slow start, losing 6 of his first 14 fights. Then in September of 1935, other than 1 draw, Billy Conn had a 26-fight win streak. By age 19, Conn had defeated 3 former world champions, and in July of 1939, he won the vacated World Light Heavyweight Championship. During the 26-fight win streak of his light heavyweight career, Conn had beaten a number of great light heavyweights. Billy Conn always fought the best fighters possible. A month after winning the title, he KO'd future heavyweight title challenger Gus D'Orazio in 8 rounds, while still retaining the light heavyweight crown. Billy Conn had clearly earned the right to be called one of the greatest light heavyweights in boxing history. As a brilliant and flashy light heavyweight, he had also been enjoying success against bigger fighters. His constant clamoring for a chance to fight Joe Louis, motivated by a 13th round knockout of Bob Pastor, who had given Joe Louis a tough fight, convinced Conn of his ability to take on the Bronx Bomber for the heavyweight crown. In May of 1941, Billy Conn vacated the light heavyweight championship to fight Joe Louis. The fight was scheduled for June 18, 1941. Billy Conn fought Joe Louis in front of a crowd of more than 54,000 fans at the Polo Grounds in New York City. The fight was Joe Louis's 18th title defense and proved to be one of the toughest of his career. Conn was outweighed by more than 25 pounds and was at a further disadvantage in height and reach. This fight was one of the highest profiled sporting events of the era. On the same night this fight was taking place at the Polo Grounds, the Pittsburgh Pirates were playing the Giants in Pittsburgh. When the fight started, officials in Pittsburgh stopped the baseball game for the fight to be broadcast over the public address system. When the fight was over, the baseball game resumed. For most of the first 13 rounds, the beautiful jabbing, feinting, and maneuvering of Billy Conn gave him the advantage in the fight. Louis did have his moments when he stunned Conn with a left hook in the 5th round, cutting his eye and nose. By the 8th round, dehydration set in on Joe Louis and he began to tire badly. By the 12th round, Louis was completely exhausted with Conn ahead on 2 of 3 boxing scorecards. Then Billy Conn got cocky and overconfident after concluding that he was winning on points. Conn decided to trade punches with the heavy-hitting Louis. As the two were slugging it out, Louis landed a powerful left hook to the jaw of Conn. He followed that with an even harder right as Conn was almost ready to collapse. Billy Conn had little left as Louis battered his body with lefts and rights until the crushing right landed with only 2 seconds left on the clock to end the 13th round. A finishing right had brought an abrupt end to the dazzling show. Overconfidence had caused Billy Conn's downfall in the fight. Billy Conn lost the fight by a 13th round knockout, but came very close to defeating the Bronx Bomber. The fight went down in history as one of the 10 greatest heavyweight fights of all time. I am Paco Rivera. See you next week.